Sean.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, welcome to the Market Recap Show as we are anxiously awaiting some big releases. So, yeah, welcome. Let's start the clock. Let's get that clock going there. Can I just get that up by pushing next topic, or you got to do that? You got me every day. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna go over sector recaps. You can see we have Danielle Shea coming on. That's gonna be a big one as well. We have Fed Chair Powell speaking right now. So if we hear anything, we do have the Benzinga Pro newsreader up right here. Brendan was just telling me that he's not going to speak on monetary policy, but there is a Q&A, so we're gonna figure out if anything gets asked there. But again, if he's not speaking on that, then what do we need to know? What's for dinner? But we're gonna wait to see if there's anything coming out right now as we look over what the sector recaps are, and we await, guys. It's gonna be down here. You're gonna see this is the minute chart. We can actually, well, as we're reviewing the sectors, we'll have the daily up here, but my eyes will always be over here. We are watching out. We do have this monitor right now as well with trade ideas. As soon as something hits in the pre-market, it will right away show up here, and we will be able to discuss stat with everybody when these reports are out. So, all right, man, what was leading the day today? Real interesting to see the XRT back up to the upside, the retail ETF. Remember about XRT is CVNA was one of the bigger holdings in this ETF. So Carvana today barely up 0.22. Still impressed with this name, man. Carvana holding $36. Like, this is up to you, but if you are one of these traders that believes in support and resistance with huge upside, I think this is one right here, $37. I just saw MDGL with a public offering. That's not good. There goes MDGL, $500 million public proposed offering. Madrigal Pharmaceuticals, kablooey, down to 142 right there. What's that? There's a Disney movie, not it's the Spanish one. Madrigal. Yeah, what is that? Encanto. Thank you so much, Fabian. I love Encanto, by the way. That's a great one. And then the Disney Encanto, yeah. The Disney one with The Rock singing. What's that one, Neil? Moana, that's a great one. Those are all my favorites there. Oh, and then I have to say a shout out to the Italian one. I can't remember any of these names now. Luca, yeah, that's a great one too. Shout out to Luca. There goes Madrigal to the downside. So, okay, UNG. Oh, hey, everyone, I don't even have the stream up yet, so we can't do roll call. I forgot to get that up. We'll get the stream up very, very soon. But UNG today with 1.8% to the upside. That's a nice. So we always get UNG downside. Nice to see a little bit of upside action. And here we go. Already 140 likes, over 2,700 watching right now. So a big shout out to everybody that's here with us. Let's keep it going. Matthew's here. We'll do a quick roll call, but we got a lot of people on board right now as we await earnings. What's up to Matthew? Yo, Daryl. Yeah, he knows Luca's good. So let's go here. Live chat. Make sure that we got everybody. Renata's here today as well. Matt Booth is here. Luca, what's up to Chimps as well? But we got a job to do. We'll do roll call later. I just don't want to forget everybody that's here with us one more time. All right, Benzinga, give me the goods, man. No Nike, no problem. Not yet. We'll wait to see NKE. The SMH holding bid, man. This one is scary for me. If that drops, watch 140 on SMH. And what a day it was for advanced micro devices, man. Up 5%, doing all the heavy lifting today in the sector is AMD. Why? Because it had to pick up DRAM loser Micron today, down 4% on earnings. Those guys could not get going. Off the bottom was Micron. And then, hey, man, the biggest and the baddest, how they go up, they go down. NVIDIA today, though, up 1.4% and holding those bids at 4 bills. So it's funny because we do have Danielle Shea coming through. We've talked a lot about NVIDIA with her. Maybe we'll pass on that. I know she likes Costco and a few other names there coming through. We'll see what she wants to talk about. But let's go back again. We're talking about the sector recaps. Oh, our friend Warren may be happy today. Warren Buffett with a nice home builders move to the upside right here of 1.2%. But you know what it was? The NASDAQ today finishing not at its highs, but close enough, man. The Q's got to 360 there about noon. We'll finish at 358 with a nice upside bump there right at the end of the day on right before imbalances, which were a sell side. So you do get the push down in the Q's. But again, nice levels there. I mean, there's so many tipping points right now. We had Brian Shannon on yesterday. So that was book right here. We were talking about support underneath on the SPY and the triple Qs. So let's see if all of that fills and holds, right? The SPY not as good today, only 0.6, but that's your S&P 500 again at the 200 period moving average. So I think it's worth buying some dips, especially if you're a long-term shareholder or investor. You want to buy indexes at 200 period moving averages, take the SPY. But the IWM, how come I must have that on there? There it is right now, up 0.9. This name, this ETF gotten hit. This is the Russell 2000 taking it on the chin over the last couple of days to the downside, right? And so as rates continue to increase, the DXY, although pulling back today, nice moves for them. And if we're going to look at the DXY, unfortunately, we don't have it here on Trade Ideas, but we do have UUP. There's the little pullback right there in UUP today. So tried to get to 30. We still have a ways to go on the dollar. We had Frank Caberna. Make sure you go back and find our afternoon link. Find Frank on there. We talked every Tuesdays and Thursdays, basically, talking all about the dollar and rates and what's going on, more fixed income stuff. So you can check him out. My eyes are going over here. I still don't see anything. And CGC, some news there. That's just a story on federal cannabis reform. FedEx. I'm not really seeing any big stories yet, and nor is anything hitting on our scanner. So we'll get ready for that. Hey, man, traders stay late, and you guys are with me, so I appreciate that. XLE holding bid right now. I cannot wait for tomorrow, because when Michael Noss is here, I'm going to ask him again what he thinks about XLE, because we're just hovering, man. I think I'm going to take something off tomorrow midday. We don't get in and out of positions while we're on the show, so we, in our personal accounts anyways, we get out of a lot of positions while we're on the show. But look at this. This is what's keeping me a little bit worried. XLE up today. USO, United States Oil Fund, down 1.6%. I just filled up yesterday, though, with some nice prices on gas around here. OIH with the downside move. So the only red indexes today, we have GLD, downside. Chinese big cap names, FXI, downside today. Don't trust those as far as I can throw them. Oil, and then the IBB, of course, which is biotech, coming through again today on the red side. But what a good day it was for the bulls. What a good day it was for the bulls. So it's only 4:08 right now. Let's do a check on Nike. Nike, where are you at, homie? Not out yet. Maybe it's a 4:30 release. We're going to wait to see if Nike can come out. For me, what are we looking for from Nike? I'm looking for inventory concerns. Are they backpiling some of their shoes or their stock? I guess athletic apparel, it doesn't have to be shoes. You know, have they been able to get rid of some of that? Are they going to have to, is it out? 90.36. Remember on the midday or on the afternoon show, we talked about this. I said I'd look on the long side just because I feel like some of the stories might be baked in on this name. And I don't know. I don't really buy that whole, like, we don't have enough money to go out and waste it on Nike stuff anymore. I feel like that's not a story. And we'll wait to see what Nike can come out with. But hey, making predictions, better off seeing stats before we do that. So we're waiting for inventories, and that's about it. I don't know if they're gonna guide. I don't know if Nike normally does, but we'll wait to see on that play as well. And then China worries. I'm not too worried about China as far as some of these lower ticketed items, but somebody is, man. Nike has slipped about 20% in a month or so, it seems like. They're up to 110, and you've lost $20. So it's, yeah, it is. Exactly, almost, from that move. So it's a nice move down there on the month for Nike. Let's see if they can get that together. And then we don't have BlackBerry yet, really? No, so we don't have anything right now. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a short, over-promised, under-delivered maybe today here on the recap show, because we don't have any earnings to discuss whatsoever. But we will have Danielle Shea coming out to talk all about some plays that maybe she's seeing in the market right now. And quite frankly, whatever she wants. Get your questions ready, okay? Because Danielle will join us in the chat here. So, get your questions ready to go here in the chat. Bears versus Bulls, I know you're here. So if there's anything of value, I mean, there's gonna be stuff of value, but anything that you see, message me. It will be hard for me to follow everybody in the chat. But yeah, all right, let's go. What else do we want to talk about? We could talk about some trades that we made today. Is there anything else interesting in here? Oh, shout out to, again, another person from Simpler Trading, Chris Brecher, yesterday. Do you remember the time? Shout out to MJ. You know that song there, Ramin? No, you don't. Youth these days, like, we know Little Dirk songs, but we don't know Michael Jackson songs. Yeah, I know you know that, Fabian. But you remember yesterday, Chris Brecher, I didn't sing it enough. Remember the time for Michael Jackson? It's when he's like in the pyramids and doing all those, it's a kind of crazy video. But anyways, he talked about buying the transports yesterday. If you remember, this is why this recap show is what it's all about, because Chris Brecher, a real-time trader, gave everybody, he said, buy the transports. So, I mean, right here, let's just go to UPS. The example he gave was UPS. So, wow, huge move up there. Chris, for the win there today, talked about buying the transports into today's play. So there it is, man. Congratulations, anybody that took that off Mr. Brecher yesterday. Great call. And the thing is, too, it's like he messaged me and he was like, did you see UPS? And I was like, no, but I don't normally trade it. I called it up and I was like, great call, man. This was one that he gave live right here yesterday. So congratulations, anybody that took that. And what his logic was is that we had to move down. He thought strengths would come in the IYT, I think. This one doesn't have, yeah, this is the transport ETF. So again, you could have took this, not much liquidity today, but an example in there was UPS. So a big shout out to Chris for thank you for that yesterday. And again, that's why we're here, man. Get some trade ideas from some reputable traders that have been here before, right? All right, so what else are we looking to do? I recently bought Oracle. Why did we buy Oracle? And again, this is another name that got beat up on earnings. So let's go over to the daily chart here. We missed the dip. And again, try to be patient. Try to be patient. I thought we missed this dip right here. So it fell down. I liked Oracle into 100. So again, a gap fill upside right there. When a name like Oracle, again, a big cap tech name with a 1.5% dividend, you don't normally get that with big cap tech. So we'll buy some Oracle on dips. We're not buying for 1.5% dividend. You could put your money away and grab 5% right now in cash. So you don't do that. This is not the time, which is why you've seen J&J, Procter & Gamble, and some of the REITs come back in a little bit now, is because, quite frankly, your cash is safe right here. You do not need to buy stocks for dividends, but we'll do that for Oracle. And came in, we have a 200 period moving average right there at $100, and we recently bought it at 104.50. So we got a 104.50 up to 106.15. It's a nothing burger, but it's a nice start there on Oracle. And the other name that we bought on dips was Amazon. I just really like this name. I just feel like it's come off a little bit. Obviously, we know the PE is going to be outrageous. Where is it? PE. PE. I am missing it. It must be on here somewhere. Price to earnings. I thought I had it on here. Price to earnings. Where? Am I just missing earnings per share? Okay, I don't have it on here. That's strange. I thought we had it. The PE for Amazon must be relatively still inflated, but again, the historical PE, we don't have to worry about it. Help me out, anybody on the chat. What is the current PE? Actually, you know what? I could probably find it on Benzinga here as well. I'm still surprised that we don't have any news out yet from Nike. Maybe it's a little bit later on Nike. One name that, and I know this is a Danielle Shea name as well, Costco yesterday. Wow. So again, Brian Shannon again from Anchored VWAP fame came through, and we talked all about Costco and the 50-period moving average, right? It got dropped down there on earnings, came through, and yeah, we were worried about it not holding this 355, right? If it didn't hold 355 and started to come back down to the downside, then we thought that this could trade a little bit lower. That didn't hit yet, so we're going to wait out for 512, 515 here on Costco before we start to average in. But again, not a great report, but definitely bought back up and now ticking out through highs. So congratulations, anybody that was able to buy the dip there on Costco. Maybe you don't want to buy the dip on Micron. The thing that worried me about Micron was in their earnings report, they talked about a shrinking TAM, so addressable market. They said that there was a little bit of a shrinkage there, so maybe less demand for DRAM. I don't know enough about the space to comment on that, but I do know that there's more factories right now pushing out DRAM that's not necessarily from Micron. So again, something that can be fabricated. We'll see if Micron can hold, but you know what? Micron still, look at this, lower, so we're making higher lows. If we can come to the screen quickly, Fabian. There's a low there on Micron, Fabian, the screen. Thank you so much. Boom, low, low, low. It's getting higher, higher, higher as we go, right? So definitely some plays here on Micron. Uh-oh, the big dog is out. NK to the E's. I got on my Air Force Ones right here. The Dunks. What's that smell? No, I was joking. Okay, we'll put that. We'll put that down right now, but let's see if us buying, those shoes are probably about a year old, so whatever. I can be a sneakerhead if I want to be. There it is right there. Nike right here with a nice move up, but nice move up doesn't really matter what is going on right now. So revenue versus, so that's green, but it looks like a miss. Revenue of 12.93 versus 12.98. That's a miss. Nike right here, Q1 EPS 94 cents. Thanks, Benzinga. I don't see what was expected right now, so we'll figure it all out. But right now, Nike's Q1 EPS of 94 cents. Revenues look like a miss. They have that as green. I don't know if I can trust it. Let's wait to see if we get some more action here on Nike. We will keep our eyes to that. But I said earlier that I feel like when a stock goes down like this for this period of time where it just keeps on going, and we're going to call up Danielle Shea in just a second, I always look at it, and I don't know, she's going to know more about this than me, but the premium's probably a little bit expensive on this name for where the implied move is just because of what's going on there. So I don't really know if this is a big options play, but into some support back in October right now. So $86, $87. I thought it wouldn't be a surprise if they did have a small beat, if we did start to climb back up to the upside right here. Okay, this is the number that we wanted, man. We wanted this. Remember I said it was going to be all about the inventories? And what a surprise. The very first thing they're talking about is inventories right now. Inventories were 8.7 billion, down 10% year over year. So that's good. So they're working on their inventories, down 10%. So we do like that. You guys give me a thumbs up and we can go over to our guest of the day. Are we ready to go, Fabian? Yes, we are. Then let's bring her on. It's Trader Talk. Let's go. Where is she then, Fabian? There she is. What's going on? Miss Danielle Shea, thank you so much for joining me once again. Been a week or so since you've been on, 2 weeks, I guess, right? We missed you last week. Now back on this week. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. Was that you or Taylor Swift in the box there at the Chiefs game the other day?
I wish it was me, but I'm definitely going to be buying a Travis Kelce jersey.
Jersey sales, I don't think, will you though, really? So I saw his jersey sales up 400%. Swifties are the real deal. I should have tweeted out, you know what, I should have, like my daughter, maybe these little Swifty bracelets here, they're friendship bracelets. I should have tweeted at Taylor Swift because you know what, maybe, followers would have gone up 400%, something like that. But congratulations to your Kansas City Chiefs. Looks like they're going to get a lot more followers coming up pretty soon. But there was that Nike report up to $91. Looks like they're up 2% right there. Did you have any interest in this Nike report at all? For me, I feel like volatility, probably not as good as maybe you were looking for trading options.
You know, Sean, I think the only thing that Nike's good for is a short. So I was looking for it to trade up into 95. Okay. I felt like going into the report, it had already traded lower quite a bit. And so for me, I mean, I really can't short with an edge after something's all the way down here on the lows. You know, you got to short it at least at the 8 EMA or the 21 EMA on the daily chart. That would be at 91.5 or 95.5. So I feel like Nike's a short, but once it trades higher after this earnings report, that's going to be a much better spot to be able to come in and sell some premium.
All right, we do have a couple of questions from the chat. I'm going to get to those in a few minutes. All right, so I agree with you on that Nike trade. I mean, I thought that just because it's been beat down, feeling like the long might come in because we do have a little bit of support down there near the bottom, but I think 95 would be absolutely fantastic if we got something in there on the daily chart there, 95 and change, basically fading that gap and looking for that little fill up there. So yeah, let's see what it can do. It just got to $92 right now. Okay, is there any sort of a setup we had? And I just gave, I don't want to say your colleague, well, I guess he is your colleague, Chris Brecher from Simpler Trading yesterday, gave everybody that great UPS trade. So no pressure, Danielle, no pressure. That UPS trade was up a nice little 2%. I'm thinking, and me and you went back and forth a little bit there as I was doing the afternoon show, I almost feel like, you know what, if the Fed is going to be a little dovish now, and I know Powell's speaking right now, it doesn't seem to be doing anything to the market, if they're not going to raise too much anymore, we may get one more. I think that's not going to happen. I don't know. But it's pretty dovish and pretty bullish in the market if they start talking about lowering rates and finally starting to come off a little bit. So I feel like it's getting ready that we may be wanting to load into some longs. Is there anything that you're looking at? Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. What say you on that kind of a thought?
Definitely, Sean. So, I mean, I completely agree with you. First of all, the market's been in this spot where it looks like it could fall off a cliff at any moment. And what's great about that is that everybody's shorting it. The put call is really high. There's a lot of short interest out there. And so all we need is really just one gap up, one positive piece of news. It could be the Fed, it could be something else. And then we could see a rip roaring short squeeze going into October earnings series. So I have two different setups for you guys. I found one of them when I was in the trading room with my members just right before this. And then another one I've been looking at for a while. So I want to look at ARM with you. And then I also want to look at Meta as well.
All right, let's look at some ARM holdings. I always get nervous about IPOs because of the lack of liquidity, right? It takes, like you said, one sort of catalyst and you could be offside. But hey, for options, that's good, right? We want to play some catalysts. So let's go. You're the one. This is on you, Danielle. Let's talk about some ARM.
So here's the thing with any new IPO, I'm never going to buy it right away. I was on CNBC the day it IPO'd and I said, no way, I'm not buying this thing. There's way too much hype around it. Right. You got to wait until a couple of weeks after. You never know exactly when it's going to be, but when it pulls back and it finds a low and then it starts trading higher. And so now I think that we're at that spot. It is an aggressive trade, but I mean, if you look at this daily chart, obviously we don't have a lot of candles here. It's a recent IPO, but you can see that it found a low around 49.85. If you look at the lower time frames, this is where I get a little bit more excited. You can see that you have a nice pattern of higher highs and higher lows. Not great, again, because it's an IPO, but you can also see these nice green candles, and these blue dots on there are demonstrating that you have higher than average volume. So anytime you have higher than average volume coming in on these candles, and you're seeing this nice pattern, and especially because, you closed up 4.72%, I think that this might be the moment where, if you could break up into 54, which you've already done, you've just so slightly closed up above that zone, I think we could continue on the upward swing. They also have options now. So, again, this is a risky idea, but I like having some fun with it. So it's not something that I'm going to put a crazy amount of risk on, but I think it's a good time to look at ARM now that it's back on the upswing. I mean, you could look at options, in the October series. They're not very expensive, which is also another reason why I like it. I mean, you can pay, $300 for a Delta 60, and that's a pretty decent amount of risk, and look for this to continue trading higher on this upswing.
So actually that brings up a pretty interesting point there, because often on the show, we'll be trading something like an ARM, and then people will say, okay, today's the first day that options are available to trade. So have you ever seen, is that something like, will you specifically go in there and look for first day option trading? Maybe you're seeing something where they're not priced properly and you try to maybe arbitrage a little bit of something like that? Or is the market just so efficient now that that doesn't really exist?
For me, I mean, I generally am going to stay away from something like right away, the first day when it first starts trading in the options market. What I want to do is I generally want to wait until there's enough liquidity. And so for ARM, I was really pleasantly surprised to see that there's already quite a bit of options activity. So, I don't like to be trading options if, you come into your options chain and you can see that there's really not any volume or open interest. But in this October series, I mean, there's plenty, you have 2,259 contracts here at the 55 strike. That's plenty to deal with. You have multiple strikes here with several hundred contracts. So, I mean, I think that the options market in ARM is ready to go at this point. The other thing you want to look at is, are the spreads too wide? Even going out into November, you can see that if you're looking at a Delta 66 call, you have a 20-cent spread there.
Right.
Anything that's under 50 cents, I think is tradable. If you have spreads that are wider than like 75 cents, it starts to really skew your opportunity. So I would say the options market's ready to go in ARM.
All right, you mentioned that you had maybe one more thing to talk about. A, what was it? Because I forget. And B, let's go.
Yeah, so I like Meta here.
Okay.
I was trading it to 300 and it actually broke up even above 300. So I was really happy with that. The reason why I like this one is this has been a relative strength winner, really all year, you could say. Yep. And over the course of the past couple of weeks, it's pulled back, it's consolidating. You have this pattern called the squeeze, which I absolutely love, because when you get that squeeze and that consolidation after this nice uptrend, that's usually going to break out to the upside. I was actually targeting 300 on it and it's already broken through 300. So I think at this point, your next targets are going to be onwards and upwards at back up into here, this resistance zone at 312 and then on to 320. The other reason I like it is I'm going to give you the earnings stats. And when you look at these earnings stats, you're going to see that, well, it's a pretty decent shot, right? Over the course of the last, we have 5 quarters of data here. This thing has traded higher by about $16, which is about 5.66% before earnings. Now, if you look at this graph, you're going to see that we have earnings coming up in Meta. We're inside of this time frame, which is called the hot zone right here. We entered it 3 days ago, which is where generally the stock is going to make a pre-earnings move. So, I have on this stock some probabilities. I have the technical setup. It's gapped up the last 3 quarters over earnings. And so I think if the NASDAQ can really start to move here with this high put call ratio, then Meta is going to go into earnings.
So Meta, so you're okay talking about earnings. Well, it's a month away, right? It's October 25th. Does that seem too far away for that? Or
I know. It's closer than you think. It'll be here before you know it. I try to look around 21 bars before the earnings report, and that's generally the time frame where you can start to see some pretty good swing trades taking off. So it's one of those things where it's like, it is a little bit early, but you also want to be looking a little bit early, because if you're getting that consolidation before everyone else notices that it's earnings season, you can get in before those moves take off, which is always what I try to do.
A little bit nervous about threads, but I like that play. I'm a holder of Meta from time, so it's a good one. Hey, Danielle, look, we've already talked about it. You mentioned you're on some other network. I never heard of them before. But the thing is that we are the best network for active traders and any trader, period. So with that being said, I'm going to go right now. You want to do a little bit of Q&A with people on our chat right here, just real quickly? Let's do it live, okay? So right here, I got a question right now from Peter. It says Shea. Come on, guys. Does Miss Danielle Shea own any Bitcoin? Do you mind answering that one? Do you own any Bitcoin?
What's funny is my husband is really into cryptocurrency, and so I do have Bitcoin, but he has managed all of that. He got it back in like 2010, 2011, before a lot of people knew what it was. And he actually...
Look at the screen. Now we get this little calculation thing going on the screen right there. Wow. Okay. Well, can I borrow some money then? That's a nice. That's good for him. Okay. So there is some Bitcoin, and you sound like my wife. I've heard her say that exact answer before. Next question. Okay. As we go on here. All right. Question for Danielle. Best hours for trading options. Best hours to trade them, and maybe best hours to avoid them.
Definitely market open and market close. I really only trade market open and market close at the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day. Normally, I'm doing TV during the middle of the day, taking care of my kids, doing something like that. I never trade really between, you get through the first hour of the day
Okay.
and then you have about a 2 hour time frame where there's just really nothing happening, especially if you're a day trader. After the European close, it is just so lackluster, nothing going on there. You can do some research during that time frame. Another time frame I do like is right after lunch, 12:30 Central.
Right.
Like 12:30 to 1 o'clock. Usually you're gonna see a nice bump in the market when people get back from lunch. But I just trade the market open and the market close, and that's what works for me.
I guess then you can see the closing candles and everything like that, which generally
Yeah.
do matter. Okay, one last one because I'm running out of time. I've already gotten the death clock and I'm not even close to doing my rundown, but don't tell anybody, you're probably one of my favorite guests. One more thing quickly here. JP Morgan, it's a bank stock that you've talked about on the show before. It's below the 50-period moving average. I'm also, I shouldn't say also, I don't know if you are, but I am a shareholder of this name in the longer term portfolio. We were buying it off of some of these supports a while ago. We did sell some in this dump. No, actually the dump was in over 125 or so back in here. But right now it's taking out a little bit here, bouncing off the 200-period moving average goes JP Morgan. I'm a little bit nervous about some of these banks, but they seem to be holding out okay. Maybe the regional's in trouble. What say you about the biggest money center bank in the world, JP Morgan, from Matt in the chat?
So I like JP Morgan. Out of all the banks, it's really the only one that I think is a good long. With earnings in particular coming up soon, I mean, this is going to be really important to the health of the market overall and the potential move going into earnings. Ideally to the upside, I would like to see JP Morgan beat again. If you look at the last 2 quarters, you can see that JP Morgan gapped up 1.8% last quarter post earnings. It also rallied before earnings and after earnings, which is a great sign. The quarter before that, it was a little bit weak going into earnings, but it still gapped up and it had a breakaway gap and rallied all the way into the next quarter. So I think that there's a lot of bullish signs here. You have a daily squeeze, you have that positive consolidation. I think it's a great long-term stock holding. I don't really trade it a lot just because it doesn't have a great trend, but I like JP Morgan.
Ms. Danielle Shea, thank you so much. Make sure that you watch the Packers tonight because they're probably going to win. That's my team. But I want to thank you again. And again, no other show you're going to get questions from viewers live. So thank you for joining us one more time. And again, great recommendations there on JP Morgan. I like Meta. And we'll look out for that ARM trade. That seems very, very interesting. Thank you, Ms. Danielle Shea. And you can check her out at the bottom there on X and at Simpler Trading. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao. That's Danielle Shea. See ya. All right. Again, a big friend of the show, and I want to thank Danielle for coming through one more time. Okay, let's just do this real quick because, hey, we trade and we want to talk about some of these trades. I just want to, oops, hey, where did the chat? Yeah. Thank you for not putting that while Danielle was on. That was very professional of you, Fabian, for sure. All right, so the trade I want to talk about quickly was Starbucks. Why? Because it's my show. But no, in honesty here, I just want to talk about this because it's patience. Patience pays, patience pays, patience pays. And that's the one thing that I feel like I've learned a lot just over the last little while. Hey, I see, that's Ackman right now on TV. I thought it was Jamie Dimon for a second. We just talked about JP Morgan. But okay, so again, look at this move. We missed the whole move down on Starbucks, but the key about Starbucks today was it was red on the day into an up market. We had the SPY up, 0.5% or 0.8, NASDAQ same way. And so we just waited for this thing to make levels that we'd seen before fail. So when it came back up into this 91, 24, 25 area, that's when we started shorting against the day's high. So that was 91.40. So all of these trades are like 15 cents worth of risk maximum. So we take these positions, get them out on the 50 period, get them out at VWAP, get them out at the 200, let it break, come back in. So there's just some good trades there in Starbucks. And the thing is that you can miss a trade early, but get back into it late. So there's one trade. Let it bounce off the 50 period, come back up, retest, take it again. And again, now we're up, and even if this trade lost for us, it doesn't matter. It's like 15 cents of protection there, and then we take it back down to 91 and change. So again, back to back, just be patient with that. That's what I was going to do there. And then at the end, let's do this because we always do it. It's going to be a roll call, and I will get to some fan funding today. We had some super chats and some new members joining us today as well. So get ready. We're going to do roll call in just 1 second. I got to get the super chats up and ready. So here it is right now. Thank you. A big shout out. It's never going to stop. That was Matt Carnes. Thank you for that question about JP Morgan. So that was a good one. So I'll shout you out. And then the question that had the best hours was Eddie. So shout out to you, Eddie. Thank you so much. There it is. So good, some from Danielle Shea. So a big shout out to everybody. They really like that. Where's Natalia? There we go. She's here. Never forget you. Thank you so much for that as well. Tony Price is here. Casey, thank you so much for the nice comments about the great show as well. Bit Farms. Yeah. What's up with that? Ain't nothing but a G thing. Zion, he's here as well. J Mac is here. Ponzi Fonzie, my dude. D Westermeyer, my guy as well. He's up in here. Tom Trade, what's up to you, my guy? What's up to everybody that's here? Paul's here. Eddie's here. Mr. Star Walker is in the building as well. Look, man, we're feeling fine and we're shining all over the place. Thank you so much for watching one more time. But we got to do the roll call because the man, the myth, the legend, it is Bears versus Bulls. Fan funding, D. Westermeyer, you're never going to get forgotten. Jeff is here. Willis, Jeff again. Maine MBFA, he's gone a couple times. Carolina times Trey. What's up with that? Thank you so much. Sailor Moon is in the building. I never saw that, but I bet you my guy Fabian knows what that is. Ethan, Sailor Moon, Todd, and Ranny, all new members today. So, hey, we just did 5.5 hours and came back with another half hour for you. Hey, there's no script. There's no producers. I don't got anything in my ear except for wax. So we're just chilling out right now. I want to thank everybody for joining. This is the realest show on YouTube. You're not going to find it. We've been trading 23 years. We have the passion. We have the excitement, but we'd have nothing without you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 8:30. I'm Sean Katina. Follow me on Twitter or on X at TraderTV Follow me on Instagram. We put up some great things lately, trade review prep and all of that. So join me then. I'm coming home, Marissa. I'll see you very soon. I love you. Talk to everybody later. Ciao.